What's up? Mike Mendoza, Fast Real Estate Services, Doza Real Estate Group. On the commute, talking real estate, commercial, residential, real estate development, property management, all of that. But just going over, what is today? Monday, the 25th of July, so almost to August. We're going to get some interesting news regarding the U.S. economy here this week. If we're officially in a recession, which I'm pretty sure we're going to be, and then also the Feds will probably announce an interest rate hike again this week to combat inflation. So interesting times in the economy right now. We'll see how that all plays out and how that affects the real estate industry. We'll see. I'm thinking about stuff that I've got to do or get completed. One is I have a self-directed IRA that I'm investing with a group, a real estate group that I will probably take back and then use that money to invest in probably multifamily properties or whatever other real estate is available right now that I can get a good deal on and that cash flows well. So if you're not familiar with self-directed IRAs, it is basically an IRA that you can use to invest in real estate. So I'm not an attorney. I don't. This is not legal advice, but call your attorney and third-party custodian. I used Equity Trust in Westlake, Ohio. They've been doing it since as long as I can remember, so over 20 years, to tell you about all the rules and things that you can use. Basically, it's an IRA that you can invest in real estate with, and then just like any other IRA, it's protected, tax sheltered when you make a gain on, especially when it comes to real estate. If you're purchasing real estate in a distressed condition at a low price and you rehab it and then you sell it, for example, or you can keep it, and then any profits go back to the IRA, and that's tax-free if it's set up properly. Obviously, you're not, you don't have access to the money until you retire, but it's just a good way to build that nest egg tax-free instead of investing in traditional index funds or any other kinds of stocks or portfolio funds for that matter. So take a look into that. If you have an IRA or a 403b sitting around that you want to use to invest in real estate. So like I said, talk to an attorney, talk to the third-party custodian for that does self-directed IRAs, and they'll tell you all the rules on how you can get that set up for you and do it legally and all of that stuff. I'm not going to go into details. Maybe we'll do an episode where we go into detail about self-directed IRAs, or mine in particular, and how I'm using it and how it's structured to conform to all the laws that are out there. So that's one thing. I got to get that set up, and then looking to pull some cash out of one of my properties, either through a refinance or a home equity line of credit. So I've got a lot of equity in my Tremont property. I think I've talked about this in other car reels, but looking to evaluate some lenders. I want to do it as a HELOC so I can have flexibility when I do identify a property to purchase, and I can just use it as opposed to just having the cash sitting there doing nothing until I find a property, which could take a few weeks, maybe a month or more, because inventory is really low. I'm going to probably have to get it off market, so it's going to take a little longer to acquire a property with that cash, and I don't want it sitting around. So, but we'll see. There might be some other options that I could use to utilize that cash. So This is a property that you've heard me talk about. This is one of my first rental properties that I bought back in 97, 98, and now I'm using that property to leverage to buy more properties. So, people call it the Burr method, or, just, buying a property, increasing the equity, and then leveraging that equity so that you can use it to invest in more properties. I wouldn't use that money to purchase frivolous things like cars or whatever. Like, I'm using that to build my wealth, as far as this is why we get involved with real estate, so that we can leverage those assets to buy more assets so that we can continue to grow that wealth. So but as we grow that wealth, as we get older, there's also considerations to protect those assets, especially if we lose our health. A lot of people don't realize health is our most valuable asset, in my opinion, because if you don't have your health, then nothing else really matters. And we're all going to lose our health and die. That's inevitable. Like taxes, you're going to die, so you got to prepare for that. And if you're building all these assets, you want to be able to pass this down to your loved ones and leave a legacy. So you need to protect those, because I'm learning this firsthand. I have a family member that is in a nursing home that did not put their assets in a trust, in an irrevocable trust, so that when they're in a nursing home, because nursing homes cost probably between $5,000 and $10,000 a month, so Medicaid does not kick in, so to speak, until all of your assets are drawn down to pay for your nursing home care. And then when all those assets are depleted, then Medicare will start paying for your nursing home care. So you work all your life to build those assets, and then you get sick and go in a nursing home, and then the nursing home takes all those assets. So if you want to, and this is if you want to pass those assets down that you work so hard for to your family members, or maybe your favorite charity, or wherever you want to leave a legacy, then you need to talk to an estate planning attorney and prepare for that. And even though I'm only 48 and I think I'm in good health, that could change tomorrow, today. So you really need to think about planning those things now, no matter what your age, so that you can pull the trigger when you are able to, versus to when it's too late and you get sick and you're in the nursing home. So learning a lot about that and how to preserve assets, because that's why we're working, right, to build our own wealth and to leave a legacy for our family. At least that's the reason I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to just be able to buy expensive things or what have you. It's really to leave that legacy for your family members and other charities and things like that. So let's see, what else do we got going on? We got a couple closings happening. A residential closing should be happening soon for a friend of ours that is purchasing their first home, and we got through the appraisal process, and this is an FHA loan, so there were no repair conditions, so that was great. And then now we're just going through the final underwriting and title review so that we can transfer the property to the new owner. So I'll be really happy when that happens. We're going to obviously try to leverage that for you residential real estate agents out there. This is the best time to request a review from your client, and as soon as they close, because they'll be happy to do it. They'll be eager to do it, and and then you'll get those reviews. What we talked about in the last car reel was that the more reviews that you get online, so we have them review our Google page, our Google business page, our Facebook, and then any other platforms that we can get them that we're on, like Zillow. Let's see, what else are we on? So Realtor.com, HomeSnap, so that when somebody searches for us, hopefully that'll optimize the search, since we have outside reviews from others, and we've seen that. That's how I've gotten my last couple listings, is people searching for me on the internet, because our office is in Shaker Heights. I'm going to try to optimize that, so if somebody is searching for an agent in other cities, that my name will pop up. So we'll see how that goes. But going back to the fact that this is the best time to have somebody give you a positive review, so that you can, tell the world and show the world from third-party sources that you are legitimate, that you give good service. Hopefully, obviously you have to give good service and all of that to get the review. So, try as hard as you can, make that a priority to get those reviews as soon as the closing occurs. So the way that I do that is I already have a bunch of links set up in a template email, so that as soon as I send the congratulatory we have transferred email, then those will be right there, and then hopefully they'll click on the links to review you. Other closing we have going on is commercial property, getting through. We were talking about eviction, so again, I'm not an attorney, but this is a unique situation. Tenant just left. They didn't tell the landlord that they were leaving, but had somebody picking up their mail, and the person that was picking up their mail said that they moved to California. The tenant left their keys in the back door of the apartment, so they didn't hand the keys to the landlord. So we're trying to figure out right now if that's still considered a self-eviction by handing over the keys or leaving the keys. Now, the thing that they cleaned out the fridge and they left the doors open, the electricity is off, but they left all of their furniture and stuff in the apartment. So what do you do about that? So we gave a notice of termination of lease last month. So that was posted to their door and in their mailbox. And then we also posted a 3-day notice to vacate because they haven't paid their rent for July. So, so that is in place. So what we're trying to avoid is to file an eviction at the court and then getting a judgment at the court. So if our attorney determines that by leaving the keys and all of the actions that we've seen so far, and we've tried to get a hold of the tenant through their cell phone, they have not answered. We've left messages, text messages, and we sent the 3-day notice via text messages as well, with no response. So hopefully we'll be able to keep or we'll be able to determine whether that's by leaving the keys and leaving the apartment with no response, that it'll be a self-eviction, and then we'll have to figure out what we do with the contents of the apartment. We might have to inventory the contents and then give another notice. I believe the tenant has 15 days to respond and get their stuff before we can remove the stuff. So, but that we need to determine first whether the tenant has a self-evicted themselves and we don't have to go through the formal eviction through the court process. So talk to your attorney. I'll give you an update as soon as I get more info on this situation, so you know how it got resolved. But very interesting case that I've never, usually people leave and take their stuff, but it doesn't seem like this person took their stuff. I'm assuming they got an opportunity out in California and couldn't move their stuff, so they just said, well, we're just going to leave our stuff and have the landlord deal with it. So hopefully that's the case, and we'll update you on that. And finally, I'll update you later. There's 2 development opportunities. That's where I'm headed now, to our real estate development meeting. to discuss a retail 14,000 square feet of retail. It's already almost white box. No walls are up. The floor isn't installed or poured yet, or the concrete for the floor hasn't been poured yet. And then we have to get an architect to give a plan for that. So we'll update you on that. With that, that's all for today. If you want to get a hold of us, you can call me directly on my cell phone or send me a text message, 440-941-3692, or you can DM me on Instagram at Mike Mendoza 216, and we'd love to hear from you to get feedback, what topics you want to hear, and so on and so forth. So we're also on TikTok, and also posting clips of these reels on Instagram. So hopefully you can pick and choose the info you want to listen to and get sound bites from that, so that you don't have to go and listen through the whole video or audio that we're posting out there. But humbled and thankful that you're even here listening to us. And like I said, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to build that community of commercial real estate, residential real estate, and real estate development.